get pictures, you have videos, you have just an in-depth, you're not just communicating with one person, you're communicating with all of their friends on Facebook.
Human activity is technology. What we do is so different from anything humans have done within the last century.
You see different opinions, different points of view, different objects, and it's a lot of variety, which is really good.
Can social networking shape and change a culture?
The young generation rose up to make a change.
People couldn't speak freely in their own country. Consciousness emerged via the internet because it was immediate.
World-changing events were recorded by the men and women on the streets. Because of this, the government could no longer censor what the world saw within the Arab Spring.
It's obvious that social networkers used Facebook, Twitter, and social mediums to organize protests, to stay one step ahead of governments, to really effectively protest and lead the changes that occurred in Arab Spring.
Every time I saw a policeman on a corner, I would post it on Twitter. Be careful, don't take that street because it's full of policemen. Take this one, I'm going to try this one.
A quarter of homes in Tunisia had broadband and 90% had a mobile phone. This allowed them to unite through the internet and connect with each other.
You get pictures, you have videos, you have just an in-depth, you're not just communicating with one person, you're communicating with all of their friends on Facebook. You text, you iChat and all those kind of things, message them on Facebook, and I think we all do that, not just teenagers. I think adults are just as guilty of that as well.
Facebook can make people see an event differently because of different things they have experienced, read, or posted on Facebook.
They want what is best for their country, and they don't want just a government to decide everything, and they want to be more free than they would be under the current government they have.
Right.
And that is why they had all this, and that is why I think they had all their protests, because they wanted to change.
They wanted to change the government?
Yeah, they were sick of it, they wanted something else.
In the Arab Spring, people used the internet to express their feelings.
Different opinions and controversy.
It was a safe haven for them to express what they really felt, without punishment.
Fear is an enemy. You can't live when you're afraid. As I saw it, what blocked Tunisia was this cycle of fear, and we had to start breaking the cycle of fear.
Everything anyone does anymore involves some sort of technology because humans rely on it so much. In the future, humans won't be fighting with bombs. It will be the race for who can shut down the other person's network first, cutting off really all communication. During the Arab Spring, people used Facebook to reach out to others, give them hope, the chance to actually see what was going on in the world, uncensored.
In Iran, it's a special circumstance where you can really see globalization and its impact on the overthrow of a government, primarily because it was because of U.S. and British influence and interest in their oil fields that overthrow even occurred.
You know, just because they happen to be where the oil is, they may not have good policies, or they may not have policies that other countries agree with. But it's kind of like the old saying where it's my ball, it's my rules, or I'll take my ball and go home.
The CIA's and SIS's actions show how countries care about the success of other countries because they are all connected or globalized. So if one country is doing poorly, they will all suffer. In the same way, at STEM, if the school is struggling academically, it will hurt the reputation of the whole district.
Too much competition isn't good because it would always lead to conflict. You can never avoid conflict. It just depends on how you deal with it. So, since resources are diminishing, this is a sensitive issue because everybody wants them. If one country is receiving a lot of resources, another country isn't going to sit still.
For example, Iran does have a weak government, and when they have oil that is needed in culture around the world, and other countries want oil too, it's going to cause a big fight between oh, I want some oil, why won't you give me any, and stuff like that.
With social networking, sometimes things are restricted, and there's a lot of things that can potentially go wrong with social networking. So it's a lot of, I think a lot of the time at the beginning there was weighing of the bad versus the good when it comes to social networking. So I think it's nice to see that our school is fairly progressive in their view of social networking along with education.
It definitely made it bigger and better because they're networks. Things aren't like contained in a small little textbook.
At STEM, most of our research and learning is done electronically rather than old-fashioned textbooks, showing that education is moving forward in the world.
Well, it has like advanced the world. More and more people are using technology now, and for today, not many people like pick up newspapers anymore. Instead, they'll just go on Google and look up whatever they want.
Someone could have worded something so strongly and made you curious enough that you would do your own research about a topic, and it influences your opinion.
If you get a lot of freedom but you don't have the responsibility, then you're gonna like totally screw up, and sometimes that's really bad. But unless you learn from your mistakes, but freedom's pretty good because it's like differentiates you from other people, and you get more responsibility, so you learn how to handle it more, and like that would be overall beneficial to the future.
Okay, let's say I think the structure of our lesson plans and how information is communicated to you guys and how your knowledge a lot of the times is communicated back to us and combined with all the data that we look at is fashioned after a social networking model that's universal to everyone.
It really catches the essence of current characteristics, combining technology and innovation for the future.
Well, I would hope that you guys aren't ethnocentric, because I think if you're valuing your experience above another person's, that's kind of, I don't know, it's very ethnocentric. It's a very superficial and shallow way of, I think, of looking at it. It's not I don't think it's a very worldly perspective, which kind of is contradictory to what the International Baccalaureate Program attempts to hold true for its students.
Well, social media is a place where there's so many people around the world who can come together to share their ideas and what they want to say to the world. Empathy is created when all these different cultures combine and people see others' viewpoints and they're accepting of them. So they might want to incorporate them into their own culture maybe. But then ethnocentrism is when the opposite happens. People may share their viewpoints and people may not like it, so they might be prejudiced against it, they might show bias to it.
It's my hope that there'll be, I think you guys will adopt more of a familial perspective of it and look at them more as part of this quirky family that we have at STEM.
The technologies that are accessible today really is what makes things like the STEM Academy possible. Science, technology, engineering, and math. These are all the skills that are needed to move forward within our society. Human activity is technology. What we do now is so different from anything that humans have done within the last century. Who would have imagined a school where we use essentially no paper, where everything is based on a network, where we can basically take our school anywhere we want?